Hi Divya Prabha, hi Pavitra. Am I audible? Hi everyone, audible Divya Prabha.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Thank you everyone. So, a very good evening to everyone. It's extremely a pleasure to welcome you all to this very special session, the 104th edition of Zen Tax Talks. So, here we are live from the World Forum of Accountants, the OFA, happening at Greater Noida, Delhi. So, We from Zentax Clinic, with all your support and good wishes, we have put up a stall at OFA, and we have been having a very excellent reception for the new initiatives that we have done. So here we have with us CA Divya Prabha and CA Pavitra, who would be taking us through the new aspects of the entire GST litigation management that we have now developed. So Pavitra and Divya Prabha will explain the nuances of how AI in GST litigation can actually help and solve a lot of issues. To just give you a very broad framework, as you all are very well aware, Zentax Clinic started in the year 2021 for solving the entire pain point on GST litigation. So since 2022, we have been in service backed by our mentor and chief advisor, CAP Paul Tangam, having been in practice for almost around 39 years now. He has been stepping into his 40th year of having specialization in indirect taxes. So having built Zentax Clinic all the way along, today in this new age scenario where AI is the entire game changer, we wanted to explore and deep dive into how AI can simplify the entire game of GST litigation. We started this development not just this week, not just a month ago, but this development was started 15 months back. 15 months back, we started to decide how the future of GST litigation needs to be. And in that regard, a very deep fine tuning of the finest aspects of the GST law and the huge number of case laws, 20,000 plus case laws by Supreme Court, High Courts, Authority for Advanced Rulings. We have fine tuned all those data in a very data secure environment. The question could be, if it is going to be powered by AI, is it not like ChatGPT? Is it not like Claude? Is it not like Gemini for that matter? The publicly available LLMs, the large language models that we know, all will generally hallucinate. It is prone to hallucination. This AI solution, which Divya Prabha would be explaining to you all about, would be the biggest revolution in this entire aspect of GST litigation, which does not hallucinate. So, Divya Prabha, am I visible on screen?
Yes, sir. You are visible.
I'm visible, or my opposite screen is visible? Right, so I'm not able to see myself here. Am I visible now?
Yes, sir.
Right, so here we have with us CA Dhanasekhan here with us, CA Jaymohan is here with us. So all of us are here at OFA. So we have had a very excellent reception from all the participants over here. So all the people who have been here are having a very live demo. So now Divya Prabha and Pavitra would be giving all our webinar participants a very live demo. So there has been an excellent and a great reception for the latest innovation technologies that we have brought, the very groundbreaking things that we have done. An excellent reception is over here. So it has all been there with all your own efforts, your own participation. So the participation by the members at our webinar has been the biggest motivating factor. 104 weeks of continuously webinar has not been that easy, and it has only been through your own participation at every week, day in and day out. So our team have toiled days and nights together to make this revolution in the entire area of GST litigation. So GST litigation is going to be completely transformative. From today onwards, here we are towards the launch of the first AI-powered GST reply system. So we have shown over here how it does not hallucinate, why it is going to be very different, the data confidentiality issues, and standing by our commitment. There has been any number of questions where people have been asking us, GST notice management, why are you giving free? Till what date will it be free? So we have always committed to say that we will always be free. So our notice management solution, as it continues to stand today, we still continue to be fully free. 100 GST notices, 100 GSTINs, 1,000 different notices you want to upload it, you manage it, it continues fully and fully free. So that is what it continues to be. So thank you for being with us all the way along and forward for your feedback, which is the biggest important factor for us to keep iterating and keep moving forward. So it is a very great honor and privilege for us to connect with all of you from OFA. I will wait for Pavitra and Divya Prabha to add about the fine nuances of what we have built Divya Prabha and Pavitra have been the strongest pillars towards this entire building of this entire AI product, and they are there with us to explain to us. Now, over to Divya Prabha and Pavitra, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, thank you, Aravind Tangam sir, for taking your time in the busy schedule and also joining us from Delhi. We highly thank you for joining us today. We will start the session. As announced by our senior expert, C. Aravind Tangam sir, so we have launched our Zentax AI, which is India's first AI-powered GST reply system. So without your continuous support, we will not be able to achieve this special milestone in our Zentax journey. So we thank you all for supporting us through all this journey. So first, I welcome you all to use our Zentax AI. You can access our Zentax portal, where we have provided the notice management system completely free of cost, and you can get our AI-powered GST reply to the notices at a very minimal cost. So in this webinar, we will discuss how AI is important for GST litigation, and we will also have a detailed walkthrough of our Zentax AI and the notice management portal. So the artificial intelligence for GST litigation. As we all know, AI plays a very important part in our day-to-day life. We all use some kind of AI technology in our day-to-day basis, be it ChatGPT, Gemini, or any platforms. So we use to get instant results. So as finance professionals and professionals, we all have this doubt, will AI replace the jobs? The answer is no. AI will definitely not replace the job, but it will change the way we do our work. So we should be the front runners, and we should learn how to adopt these AI technologies in our day-to-day life and in our work. So today we will discuss in a very detailed manner how AI impacts the GST litigation services. As we know, GST litigation begins at the reply stage. So the notice stage is a very important stage in the whole GST litigation. So every dispute formally starts with a notice. So the reply we give to this notice determines the outcome of the whole litigation processes. So the adjudicating orders which are passed based on our reply is largely based on the facts placed on record, the legal position which we have taken in our reply, and if any issues are admitted, or if we have any issues we have ignored or we have contested. So everything we will be providing as a reply to that specific notice. So in case if we give any weak replies, then that could result in confirmation of demand, and it also leads to a huge penalty for the businesses. And also it leads to next stage of litigation processes. So we know for filing appeal, we need to make a huge pre-deposit of 10% of the demand. In many cases, we have seen a very large amount is a very large amount in the cash flow of the company is being given as a pre-deposit to the government. So to give a reply at the starting stage, that is at the notice stage itself, is very important, so that we can avoid a large financial burden. And we also need to appoint a expert or a person to go through that whole litigation processes. So it takes a large amount of time and money for the businesses. So it is very important to start giving a very good reply at the starting stage of the notices itself. So we know GST notices have largely evolved into a technology-driven enforcement ecosystem. That is, we have seen a lot of notices where they have used extensive data analytics and system validations. So for giving a notice, multiple data sources are being cross-verified by the department. To say example, the e-way bill which we raise are being compared with our GST returns, and they are giving notices. Likewise, e-invoice and other all the returns we filed, that is GSTR 1, 9, are taken for scrutiny, and we are given notices. The government also recently we have come across, they have given notices for the unregistered persons also based on the UPI transactions. So from this we can understand government uses various AI technologies and various data analytics to give notices. So the shift has been taken from trust-based compliances to risk-based scrutiny. So due to these large adoption of technology, it has resulted in sharp increase in the number of GST notices. Also, notices are issued across various industries in a similar manner and across various GSTNs. So the reality of GST litigation today is that many people, firstly, they miss to note the notices. Thereafter, they identify the notices only at the last stage of the litigation process. So identifying a notice at the very beginning stage is very important. Also, many GST litigation cases arises due to reply stage weaknesses. Even strong legal cases also fail due to incomplete factual explanation, poor structuring of replies, or missed or weak rebuttal of allegations. So these authorities, that is the adjudicating authorities, they heavily rely on the reply and the documents we submit along with those reply. So this admission or a silence in the reply hugely impacts our litigation process, and it results in a huge demand. So also, if we go to appeal stage also, all errors cannot be corrected. So giving a correct reply at the starting stage of the notices is very important. Now we will see the evolution of GST notices. More GST notices have been moved from manual notices to automated analytics-driven notices. So in earlier GST phase, manual scrutiny has been done by the officers. There was a very limited support system, but in current GST regime, automated scrutiny and system alerts are taking place. Analytics-driven mismatch identification are done for all clients at the same time. Also, notices today are mostly template-based. We have seen recently many notices issued for GSTR 9 filers and GSTR 9 non-filers. So it is like the notices were issued like in a common template. These notices are issued in bulk, and it often lacks detailed factual narration. So the professionals should know how to respond to this system-generated allegations and to also provide a proper explanation to the officers through this notices, through this reply to the notices. Currently, the manual drafting is breaking down. That is, a significant increase in notice volume is huge, and the professionals are not able to handle those increase in notices. So many notices are all notices are time bound. So the bulk issue of notices at the same time often creates a very difficult process to give reply to the notices. That is, a short statutory timelines are given for these replies, and multiple GSTNs and jurisdictions are handled simultaneously. So giving manual reply to these notices often lead to a repetitive effect or very fatigue-based errors or inconsistent quality across similar cases. So the professionals are forced to prioritize speed over structured analysis. Now we will see the type of notices which are issued. The notices are issued mostly based on scrutiny of returns. So that if there is any discrepancies in the returns filed by the taxpayer, we can see the notices coming up. If there are any classification issue or if any valuation issues, the GST department issues notices. And the notices can also be issued for departmental audit cases and for inspection cases. So as a taxpayer, we need to identify the nature of the notice being issued, and we need to give a different type of reply for each different type of notices. We cannot give a standard format reply for all the notices. Each category should be separately analyzed, and we should give a distinct legal and factual reply to each of those scenarios differently. Now we will see the requisites for a proper reply. First is the allegation raised by the department. We need to understand on what grounds the department has issued the notice. We need to analyze the facts. Then we need to invoke correct legal provisions, and we need to check if there is the computation of the tax, interest, or penalty is correct. Then we shall request for a personal hearing. A legal sound reply must address each component separately, and it also should link facts with the law issue-wise. So we have noticed these common legal errors in GST notices. First is the mechanical invocation of legal provisions. Same legal provisions are invoked for all replies. Then incorrect assumptions of facts or transaction, errors in the computation of tax or penalty, or improper invocation of penalty provisions. So the failure to establish intent when required, these errors must be identified clearly, and they should be given issue-wise response in the reply. So, now CA Divya Prabha will continue how AI will transform this GST litigation processes and how we can overcome the difficulties which we discussed now.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. So I would like to start the session by thanking each and every one of you for attending all our webinars and for showing your continued support. So as our CEO, C. Aravind Thangam sir had introduced, this is a very special webinar for us because from trying out different automation tools to optimize our operations, we have come a long way because we are launching our own AI product, that is GST Reply System, AI powered reply system. So we would like to proudly announce that this AI has been launched in the WOFA event conducted at Delhi, and our CEO and our senior partners are all present over there, and they have made sure to join this webinar. So thank you to each and every one of you. And thanks to CA Pavitra for deep diving into the GST notice ecosystem, the replies for such notices, what are the requirements, what are the common errors of such reply systems. So I would like to briefly touch upon the GST notice ecosystem and replies too, but from the angle of how AI is helping GST litigation. That is, how does it help us in solving the risk and achieving a resolution for the problems? That is, from problems to solutions, where does AI get into GST litigation? So if at all, just like that, when you hear the word litigation, we always think it is appeals or going to tribunals or going to high courts. You either think I'll have to spend so much on my appeals, or I'll have to go to courts, file writ petition, or even go to Supreme Courts. But according to us, we think, and it is also true to a certain extent, that it is decided, the GST litigation, the whole GST litigation, the result of the litigation is decided in the reply stage itself. For example, very recently we dealt with a case, inspection case. The demand was around 140 crores. And we made sure that the demand was dropped to 4 crores in the reply stage itself. You just imagine the amount of pre-deposit or the litigation cost that would be involved for a demand of 140 crores if at all it was not solved in the reply stage itself. So according to us, the reply stage is the most crucial stage in the whole process of GST litigation, because till the reply you have lots of opportunities to show your facts, to show your proofs, and convince the officer of the submissions. Because beyond the reply, there comes a factor of legal provisions and everything. So therefore, reply stage is the most crucial. And to show some examples of how the reply stage is very important, this is one such reply. So if you look at this reply, you can very clearly say the reply states, I am attaching 2A report, I am attaching 3B report, I am also attaching the comparison from the portal, and I am attaching the invoice copies. So it is clearly understandable that the issue is 2A versus 3B. But from this kind of reply, how do you think an officer will be convinced to drop this issue? So this reply is very vague and very generic. Now, this is an example of another reply where the reply just says, it is the allegations and conclusions drawn in the SCN suffer from fundamental legal and factual infirmities. But in fact, when we had gone through the full reply, there were no factual submissions at all. It just kept quoting some legal provisions, that is saying 74 is not applicable to us, and it also stated some case law saying how 74 should not be invoked. But it also has to connect the law with fact. It should also correlate the law with the fact, stating if at all 74 is not to be applicable for us, we have to show them that we did not suppress any facts, we did not act with a fraudulent intention, right? So merely stating that the reply will not, the legal provisions will not be applicable is not going to help us in the issue. Just a minute, there's a network issue here. Sorry for the interruption. We'll just carry forward from this slide. So this example of a reply just states legal provisions. As per the legal provisions, the notice is not at all applicable to us. It says the noticee has provided detailed representations supported by statutory provisions, judicial precedents, and authoritative interpretations, all of which establish that the demand proceedings is not legally maintainable. But there are no submissions of facts or evidences to show that the case is in favorable of the taxpayer. Therefore, at the reply stage, if at all anybody wishes to close off the proceedings, facts and evidences are very much important. Now, this is an example of another reply where the taxpayer just submitted statement from the GST portal, and they have very merely stated that they have paid excess tax in 3B compared to GSTR1. So just from this table, if at all an officer is to scrutinize this table, obviously they would have already done so since the data is already available in the portal. The issue was just GSTR 3B versus 1. Now it gives rise to us many other questions from the officer's side, saying why there are short payments in 2 months, and why have you not disclosed the invoices in GSTR1? What kind of operations are you running? There might come up lots of other questions just because of the vague response that we are submitting as replies to the GST notices. So the one uncomfortable truth that we all have to digest is Well, extremely sorry for the interruption. We had a network error over here. So yes, as I was saying, we all have to very clearly agree to the uncomfortable truth that the replies that most of the taxpayers are submitting are very weak, very generic, and very inconsistent. So one such question is, how does AI help in solving these replies which are very weak, generic, or inconsistent? We look at it. And as we saw in these previous replies, it is very clear that most of the cases are not lost in the appeal. It is lost in the reply stage itself. You don't even have to go till the stage of appeal if you're going to give inconsistent replies in your DS intimation to your intimation notice, to your show cause notice, and then you the taxpayer could think, well, we have appeal now, we have sufficient time to prepare facts and evidences. If at all, in the reply stage, if we are not able to prove the facts and evidences, it's going to be a much more difficult battle to prove it in the appeal stage. So why do replies actually fail? Because they are merely narrative dumping and not issue resolution. They just focus on saying, I have not claimed this, I have not done this, I have invoices, I have documents, but they don't analyze each and every issue. If at all there are 12 defects in an show cause notice, equal attention has to be given to all the issues, and in a very detailed way a reply has to be given, a proper representation has to be made on each of the issues, so that the officer is convinced enough to drop the notice. And they don't reproduce facts, they just reproduce facts. We saw a reply where the comparison statement was just merely pasted. It was copied and pasted into the reply, but where was the defense saying, this was the reason for my short declaration of invoices in GSTR 1. However, I have paid excess in GSTR 3B. There was no clear-cut clarity on why the taxpayer acted that way. And they merely cite sections. We saw a reply where they just said, based on statutory interpretations and based on sections, this notice is not legally valid. However, how do you connect it to the facts? How do you say, these are the invoices, these are the outward supplies I've made during the year, these are the inward supplies I've made during the year, I've not claimed excess ITC, I've not short paid any taxes. How do you connect your facts to your sections and say that I am correct, I am valid on both facts and the sections? And another important and the most important issue with replies that we are submitting nowadays are, as our CEO was telling, there are 20,000 plus case laws that is there and under the GST regime. And how do we know which one to quote, where to quote, which is the latest one, which one has been substituted by another ruling? So we always rely on old case laws. For example, if you're talking about ITC and cancel dealers, we just go to Suncraft Energy or DY Bethel Enterprises, and we don't even realize the fact there are latest case laws, for example, like Shanti Kiran. Even though the judgments might be different, we still have to keep track of all the case laws, which are very much difficult and impossible because we are acting on a time crunch. As professionals, as consultants, we are always running behind due dates, and we are not able to keep up with the outdated, we are not able to keep up with the latest case laws or the latest updates in the law and legal provisions. And another practical challenge that we might have because of in handling GST notices is that the volume and velocity of notices. Let us say for a single taxpayer, for a single financial year, there came 3 to 4 notices. In fact, around 5 notices, and 2 notices became orders. And now we have to run behind the offices for rectification of such notices, or we have to talk to the taxpayer saying, why have you not updated us as and when the notice came? Because if at all it was solved in the notice stage itself, the notice wouldn't have become an order, and the notice, because of not solving that issue, every officer who comes up subsequently keeps sending notices, keeps putting up notices for the same issue. So 3 to 4 notices for the same financial year, same issue, and them becoming an order is unwanted financial burden and complaints burden on the taxpayer. And even if it's not for the same financial year, if it's for multiple financial years, it is still going to be a burden, because litigation is always an issue for a business. Litigation does not let the taxpayer run their businesses smoothly, because it keeps burdening them. And the next issue is data complexity. Let us say for 2A versus 3B, if at all we are sitting for a reconciliation, we are taking a 2A, let's say it has around 2,000 to 20,000 entries. We not only have to look at 2A, we'll have to go to our GSTR 3B every month. GSTR 3B, we'll have to look at each invoice, we'll have to look at each party, we'll have to see if the invoice was eligible ITC or ineligible, claimed or unclaimed. This reconciliation might take months. So how do we manage this data complexity, the volume of GST notices, and the volume of data with the time crunch, with the due dates, with a very short amount of time to reply to such notices? And third comes the consistency risk, both from a taxpayer point of view and from a professional point of view. See, from a taxpayer point of view, let us take, suppose for financial year 21-22, the accountant who is filing the returns is not present right now. There is a new accountant, or there is a new consultant. They would need weeks or even months to reconcile the data, and their perspective of looking at the ITC or the sales invoices would be different. There would be so many inconsistencies in the treatment of outward or inward supplies. And when it comes to professionals or consultants, we operate on a time crunch. We run behind due dates. So obviously, if a notice comes, the data gathering is handled by a junior, the reconciliation is handled by another junior, the drafting is handled by another person, and the senior or even the persons who are in this cycle, each one of them might not be aware of the process that was done by the other person. So there are going to be inconsistent outcomes in each stage. And let's say if 1A reply was given by one person, one reply is given by another person, appeal is drafted by another person, there are going to be so many inconsistent outcomes. So all these issues lead to a single pain point, is that unpredictable outcomes are expected at each stage of GST litigation. And once a demand is raised, interest starts running. And not just interest, even penalty starts running, because the law has so many complications to say 30 days within notice, 30 days within order, and whatnot. And the taxpayer is left in taking up this burden and trying to follow up with the officer, follow up with the professionals. And even the professionals, they are left with the burden in trying to follow up with the taxpayers too, to say, sir, go ahead, give us the documents so that we avoid interest, we avoid penalties for you. And let us take the example that I quoted earlier. A taxpayer had around 140 crores demand. If at all it was not closed in the reply stage, just think of the pre-deposit that would be required if at all it went to the appeal stage. That kind of huge demand could not be afforded by any taxpayer. They might be huge MNCs, they might be listed companies, but still having a pre-deposit, having it blocking your working capital is not going to be a great thing for the business. It is going to reduce its operational efficiencies. And people might think appeal gives them time, around 2 months, 3 months to submit the data. But if at all you had anybody had closed the issue in reply time, it would just be 1 month, 1 to a couple of months. But if you're going to the appeal stage, it's going to be couple of years. It's not just months, it's not just 6 months, it's going to be years, because we know on ground, we are seeing every day how an appeal hearing is being provided after years of filing the appeal. And it's not going to be like you close the issue with just one hearing. You have to go for multiple follow-ups, you have to follow multiple times with the taxpayer too for further details. Therefore, appeal increases time, your working capital gets blocked for so many years. And it just not does leave with the working capital. You also have to bear a huge professional cost for the same. Therefore, it is always efficient to close a litigation at the reply stage itself. And why did AI enter GST litigation? As we discussed in previous slides, AI entered because massive amount of data is there for us to work on when it comes to GST litigation, and rapidly evolving case laws. It is humanly impossible for any single individual to remember thousands and thousands of case laws, and we are acting on a due date basis. For professionals and consultants, if you're looking at your huge client list, and if every let's say around even 10 to 20 taxpayers that you're dealing with, if they have notices, every day of the month you're going to be working on GST litigation. You're not going to say, okay, this taxpayer has 30 days to reply to the notice, I'll take 30 days. No, you can't do that. You'll have to work every day for every reply. Therefore, AI entered because of all these reasons. It does not replace a professional. It only makes them more efficient and more productive in closing of the GST litigation. Now, let's address a very, very important thing about AI. AI comes with its own set of risks. So AI hallucinates. And there is no guarantee with respect to the data that is shared with the AI. There is no guarantee that it would not be leaked, it would not be used for its own internal purposes. And it actually only gives you generic drafting. You'll have to sit for hours, redefine your prompts to a greater extent to even get the 50% of output that you expected would be acceptable by the officer. And as professionals, as finance professionals, I don't think we are technically that driven to learn of all the prompts that would be required to fine tune and get a very detailed reply. And when it comes to accountability, I'll show you in the next few slides as to how accountable it treats its own works as. And all these spheres are available with open and generic AI tools. So the AI tools that we use every day on a day-to-day basis, they have all these issues going on with them. Now, an example for data hallucination is this legal opinion. It was drafted by one very known AI. This legal opinion is with regards to the export transaction. Supplier A is selling goods to supplier B, who's selling it to a foreign buyer. There are some processes going on, assembling process and everything is going on. But in this legal opinion, the AI went on to discuss the brief facts of the case. And it went on to explain what is deemed export. And believe me, it said the whole supply chain should be treated as exports. That is, supplier 1 is an exporter, supplier 2 is an exporter, and foreign buyer need not pay GST. And it also said supplier 1 and 2, they have to individually raise invoices to the foreign buyer. And it also said supplier 1 and 2 can individually claim ITC credit because they are exporters. And not just this hallucination, it also supported this saying that, yeah, from this slide, you can very clearly see, since this is an export transaction, all the suppliers can claim a refund of any ITC paid on the GST on parts A, parts B, and the assembly service. And the foreign buyer need not pay GST. And it also went on to support this with some unavailable case laws. This case law goes on, this case law of DHL Express versus Union of India, you can search it anywhere on the internet, anywhere on Google, anywhere on the case directory websites. You are not going to find this case law because this case law is just not existent. And the AI that we use day to day, the open generic AI, just quoted this case law in support of the opinion, in support of the incorrect opinion that it gave earlier. And it also gave another case law. Even this case law, you can search anywhere on the internet. It's not going to be available because this is just not present. Now, when we tried uploading this to the same AI and asking it for its opinion, it said, fundamentally, the concept is itself wrong. It said it is legally incorrect. And it also went on to say the conclusion may be correct, but the reasoning is flawed and unsafe. It said this is plainly wrong and dangerous in assessment or audit. And for the case laws that it quoted very confidently, it went on to say case laws are name dropped, not applied. typical AI drafting issue. So when the same AI which had given the opinion could not even verify or fact check its own work, it could not be accountable for its own work, how can it be relied upon so much in the litigation process? And it also went on to give an assessment of its own work where it said the conceptual accuracy is poor, understanding of export law is incorrect, use of case law is superficial or unsafe, practical GST compliance is risky, and litigation sustainability is weak. It has also concluded that this should not be relied upon. So this is an issue with any kind of generic AI, not just with one single AI, any kind of generic AI which has not been very deeply trained in a specific domain is always going to have these issues. It's going to hallucinate. It's not going to be accountable for its own statements and records. And it is also going to be, your data is also not going to be safe. Whenever you can go read on all the privacy policy, data security policy documents on any kind of AI, you're going to come up with a humongous number of issues. And I thought these are the 5 most concerning points for a user, especially in terms of litigation aspects, in terms of uploading our confidential financial data. It said it collects data of personal details, usage activity, device info, and location. And the inputs, that is the files, the chats, the prompts that we are giving it to the AI, it is going to be used for system improvements unless opted out. But honestly, how many of us even take note of an AI before using it to go see, I want to opt out and say that my data cannot be used? No, we just dive right in. Whenever we come across an AI, we are always very curious as to how it can help us in optimizing our operations. We don't go read on the terms and conditions very properly. And this data, it's not going to be confidential. It's going to be shared with vendors, affiliates, authorities, or others, depending on what kind of data it is, what kind of features the AI is offering to us. And this data may also be retained for specific extended periods. And the policy documents themselves go on to say the results cannot be guaranteed. It might not be accurate. It might not be correct. But how can we be assured that anything provided by such AIs could be used for highly confidential works like litigation works? And another issue, as we saw, that open AIs or generic AIs are very generic. They don't particularly pinpoint a specific issue and talk about it in a very detailed way. This is one example, one draft of ITC on cancelled suppliers. It just went on to say conditions of section 16 without even referring to section 16. It said invoices are there, payment has been made, supplier was registered at the time. These can be referred upon, but this cannot be replicated in our replies. And legal positions, you can see the space. There is no quotes of any relevant legal provision. It has not quoted any relevant legal case law. And even then, even after asking it specifically for case laws, it gave us like 4, 5 years, 7 years old case law. It did not even refer to the latest case law that has come up last year or this year. Therefore, these formats and drafts from open and generic AIs can never be relied upon for a confidential work like litigation. And yeah, this is telling these are the documentary evidences. So this is it. These just 3-page and we are done with a reply. If at all it was this simple, we would not be worried about GST or any kind of litigation at all. Now, the important aspect is, so how can these issues be solved by a domain-specific AI? These open LLMs, large language models, or generic AIs, they are built to be creative. They are built to cover multiple domains. You go ask it any kind of questions, it will help you. You go ask it, why do I feel so tired? It's going to answer you. You go ask anything about ITC, it's going to answer you. So it's going to be just generic. It's going to be very, it's not going to be specific and to the point. It's not going to give you results that you expect it to give it to you, and it's going to generate fluent text. It's not going to concentrate on facts. It's going to generate words which are fancy. But when it comes to controlled domain specific AI, it is totally different, because it is restricted to verified legal sources. We feed it 20,000 case laws, and it only refers to those case laws. It does not come up with its own case laws. It refers to those case laws. It checks if there is anything relevant to the fact, if there is anything relevant to the present scenario. If there is nothing relevant to it, it comes up with nothing. It just does not generate its own legal sources or legal provisions, and it does not provide unsupported outputs. It's not going to say it's okay. It's not going to assure the taxpayer saying it's okay, you've claimed the wrong ITC, it's okay, you go talk to the officer. Nothing of that sorts is going to happen with domain specific AI, and it is very conservative by design. It says if this is correct, this is correct. If you have to pay it, you have to pay it. So domain specific AI is very specific to the issue. Now, how would litigation grade AI work? What would be the logic behind this? Why do we even need it? As discussed, there would be no narrative dumping. Each issue in a notice would be very discussed. It would be discussed upon in a very detailed way. It would ask for specific details from the taxpayer or from the consultant, and it would correlate facts, law, and judicial precedents. It would see the facts, it would check the law if the facts are aligning with the law, and it would also bring up and search for case laws and bring up the most relevant case law which is supporting the taxpayer, or even the case law which is going to say whatever you've done is wrong, because there is a judicial precedent which says this treatment is wrong. It is obviously going to enlighten the taxpayer on the mistakes that they have done. And updated case laws. This has to be the biggest relief of litigation grade AI, because as I said, the generic AIs are humans. They are not going to be able to keep up with every updated case law which is coming up every day. But litigation grade AI is going to be updated with the latest case laws as and when it comes up. And there might be a question as to AI is always going to be in favor of the taxpayer. No, it does not necessarily have to be. It is going to be at the option of the taxpayer or the consultant. But the AI is going to say this will be the contesting point. But these are the issues that can come up because of this defect, and you will have to pay this amount. And it, as I said, it also gives us a disclosure of what are the weak points, what are the risky areas in this defense that the taxpayer is choosing to opt for. The AI is going to provide its suggestion that what you've done is wrong. Do you want to pay or do you want to contest? And it is also going to provide the risk disclosure also very clearly. So this is the logic behind litigation grade AI. And Pavitra will be discussing upon more on AI and the Zentax AI too.
As discussed by CA Divya Prabha, we have seen all the practical challenges in the AI which are available in the market. So we in Zentax Clinic, we have developed the Zentax AI to resolve all these practical issues. So our AI will not hallucinate. Our AI will give proper case laws, will give proper reply with reference to the Act, rules and notifications. And the case laws we provide will have a citation or a reference. So we will see how to access this Zentax AI, and we will see the practical reply we have taken from the portal also. So before that, for a general understanding, many people might think that this AI is going to replace the professional's job. Actually, the answer is definitely no. Now we will see what AI can do and cannot do in the GST litigation. So the AI can assist in analyzing the GST notices. It can extract and structure issues systematically. It improves the speed and consistency of the replies. It reduces repetitive manual drafting effort. It analyzes each of the issues and give a proper reply which are issue specific to for that particular case. So the AI cannot replace the professional judgment. It cannot decide the litigation strategy independently. It cannot. It also does not assume responsibility for outcomes. So we finance professionals are definitely we, with the help of this AI, we can give a more proper reply. We can give the right reply to close the notices or the litigation process in very early stage. So why is Entax Clinic AI? So to say this specific Entax AI is designed for GST litigation and notice reply use cases. This is not a generic AI or an open-ended drafting tool. This our AI is giving controlled output generated only where legal support exists. Also, our AI, as I said, are restricted to verified GST acts, rules, circulars, and reported judgments. And it also uses issue-based defense mapping instead of narrative drafting. That is, instead of giving a common reply for all the notices, in our Entax AI, it gives reply depending on the nature of the business of the taxpayer, and it also give a proper defense which are specific to that issue and with the proper legal background. It also specifies whether the issue is a contestable issue or not, and it also provides a risk assessment as a conclusion where we can have a clear idea whether how much of the risk we are taking in giving this specific reply. Also, the decision can be taken by the person who is giving the inputs. In case if a person wishes to pay such demand, he can also redraft the reply given. Also, our AI provides strict data confidentiality. Also, our case data do not reused for model training. It is built to assist professionals. It is not to replace professional judgment. We also provide a free notice management portal through which once you have entered the GSTIN of the users, you can get the reply directly in our Entax portal itself. So it is like you can use both the purposes. You can use it as a notice management portal. Also, you can fetch a reply from the same portal. This supports multiple GSTIN and multiple notices handling also. Moving on, we will see how to access our Entax portal. See how to access our portal also.
So we had questions coming up as to how to access our AI and how to use our Entax AI reply system. So we will be providing our AI solutions, reply solutions through our Entax portal, our very own GST management suite, which is completely free of cost. You will have to pay a very minimal cost for our AI replies, and we provide you replies and the management suite completely free of cost. So this is our Entax portal. Our GST management portal is hosted in the URL gst.zentaxclinic.com, and you can see from our parallel screen that the event at WOFA is going on full swing. We have so many participants interested in the AI that we've launched today. Now, coming back to the portal, once you sign up or create an account through gst.zentaxclinic.com, you will be taken to the dashboard, and the dashboard looks something like this. In this dashboard, you can see total number of cases for which you've already taken action, that is submitted reply, or for which action is yet to be taken, or the notices which are overdue, that is the due date has long gone by, but still few of them might have their replies still open, that is you can still submit your replies even after due dates for few of them, and no action required, that is you don't have to act upon such notices. And how do you just after logging in, what you have to do is you can see something like GST management option in the dashboard. It is over here at the down bottom of the screen. You go click the option of add credentials. You can either add a single credential or you can add multiple credentials at the same time. Once you add these credentials, an automatic sync will go on, and you will have all these options in our portal. You can view your notices just like the notices. If you're adding 100 GSTINs, you can view all the notices of those 100 GSTINs, all the notices for which action is to be taken on those 100 GSTINs. You can also look at the case wise details also, not just your notices individually. If a case has an intimation and notice, reminders, 3 reminders and an order, you can access all those documents in your case management page. And apart from that, we also give you solutions and sync monitoring details and latest updates. We also give the services of compliance monitor, where you can keep track of all your GST filing dates and if you've missed on any GST filings. So this is how the case management page looks. And from here, if you're going to the action to be taken tab, you're going to get the details of each case of all those GSTNs that you've added. And from here, if you're going to click on action to be taken case, you can click on view, and it will take you to this kind of page. And from here, you can individually view an intimation or a notice for which you've taken action, for which you're yet to take an action on. And if at all the notice, if at all you feel like you've submitted a reply, but still you want to make sure that your reply is very sound and legally proof, you can still go ahead and generate, use our AI reply and cross-check with your own reply. If you're going through the notice wise details, you will have to go to action to be taken, and you will access the notices this way. For any action to be taken notice, you can click on the get AI drafted reply, and you will go to a page like this. And from there on, you can access our AI, which will be discussed by CA Pavitra.
Once we have selected a specific case for which we need to get the reply. So once we entered that page, we will get the case details. Here we can see the trade name, GST number, and the details of the client. When you drag down, you can see the notice which is still pending for reply. So in the status, it will show us action taken or action to be taken. So here is the notice. So in this notice, the total demand is more than 50 lakhs. So we will see the notice. Once we click that view, we will go to the next page where we provide our expert AI solution. So in the marked area, you can click there and you can get the reply. In this page also, you can get the basic information of the client and the notice status and the tax amount. Once you drag down, you will see the issues which are there in the notice, and for each issue, the demand amount is shown separately. So in this case, so there are a few issues which will be shown Once you make the payment, the total issues in the notices will be visible. This is just a summary to provide an overview. Here is the opening remarks. Since this is a show cause notice, the reply should be submitted in form DRC 06. So the opening remarks, that is the front page, will be visible here. Once you drag down, you can unlock and get the full expert drafted reply. So for this, you will need to pay this amount. Once you have given this once you have made the payment, thereafter we can get the reply. So firstly, we will you need to provide a basic details of the taxpayer. That is to give a good understanding for the AA as to the nature of the business of the client. In case if the concerned person is engaged in any manufacturing business, or if they are engaged in any trading business, you can mention here. Accordingly, the reply will be generated based on the inputs which you have given. So here is the first issue in the notice. The issue is comparison of tax payable reported in GSTR 9 and 9C. Once to draft the reply, you will need to add the additional documents. So the AI itself provide the list of documents which are required. You can also give any other documents if you are if you are willing to provide. You can add the attachments in that column, and you can add your attachments. Thereafter, once the attachments are added, we can access the reply. So this is the these are all the total issues in this notice. So we can generate the reply issue wise. This is the notice. We can even open the notice through our Zentax portal itself. So the issue here is the issue 1, comparison of tax payable reported in GSTR 9 and 9C. We will have a brief description of the issue, that is the issue raised in the notice, the issue title, and the tax amount. Thereafter, we will have the reply to the notice. So based on the supporting documents provided, our AI will analyze the report and it will give the detailed report. So for this issue, the AI has provided 17 points. And finally, for that specific issue, the conclusion part is also provided. In case if you need to redraft the reply, in that green box, you can provide your own observation. If at all you need to add any point, or you need to give any additional submission, you can enter that in the chat box and you can redraft the reply. So likewise, you can generate the issue-wise response for each of the issues. Even you can generate the reply without any attachments also. So for this issue, claim of ineligible ITC, you can provide the attachments and generate reply, or you can directly click this view reply without documents and generate the reply. So another issue, that is the 6th issue in the notice, is ITC claimed from cancelled dealers, return defaulters, and tax non-payers. In this case also, the issue raised in the notice is given. That is the summary table of the notices is given. Thereafter, the reply to the notice is given. So here there are that is the issue is supplier filed 3B with nil turnover. So our AI will analyze the specific ground taken in the notice. As we can see in point 2.2, that is specifically to the point that supplier has filed a nil turnover. So our AI will draft the reply by providing a proper legal support, and from proper case laws also it provides. So here it has discussed section 16.2. Each of the points in section 16.2 or subsections are discussed separately. also our AI has quoted the case laws. We can verify these, we can cross verify these case laws also. We provide case laws which are available legally and which are the practical and correct case laws available. So the case laws which are relevant to the specific case are provided. We do not provide any generic case laws or any template of case laws. So case laws are analyzed with respect to each issue and it is provided as to the nature of the cases. So after discussing all these points in the reply, we also provide a concluding paragraph as to why the demand should not be levied for this issue. Likewise, we can generate the reply for each of the cases. Thereafter, after generating all these replies, there will also be a closing remarks table which provides a summary of the issues and whether we have admitted such amount or we are disputing such amount. So you can download this reply in a PDF format. Very soon we will be able to download the reply in Word format also. Thereafter, you can file directly in the GST portal along with the required supporting documents. To conclude, CA Divya Prabha will continue.
So to add on to what CA Pavitra had explained about the AI, we will also have a weak area disclosure, that is risk area disclosure, where the AI will analyze and tell you as to if the tax payment is to be made, if it is safe to make tax payment or the interest payment or the penalty payment for a particular issue. So to conclude, we all of us as consultants or professionals would have a question. Will AI replace us? No, we would like to very specifically emphasize that this is an AI plus expert model. A professional is always in the loop, because we believe AI must never operate without professional accountability, because AI will handle the analysis and drafting, reduce the time taken by the professional, and the professional can very well handle the judgment and the strategy part. AI increases the speed and consistency, but the responsibility still remains with the professional. And this is not a replacement. This is just an amplification of the professional's productivity and efficiency. Therefore, ultimate or the professional or even the taxpayer who is going to take judgment, who's going to decide the strategy, who's going to remain responsible for the reply that is being given. And this is how we have found a solution to overcome the challenges of generic AIs, that is giving generic reply, not taking accountability, but at the same time increasing the productivity and efficiency of the professional by increasing the speed, consistency, and analyzing huge volume of data in just a matter of seconds. On that note, we would like to conclude that AI will not replace GST professionals, but GST professionals who use AI responsibly will replace those who don't. Therefore, this is the end of the session. Any questions you can please put forward, and we'll be open to take them. And any kind of demos or anything, if you need more clarity, you can always reach out to us in our mail or website or the number mentioned on the screen. Thank you for your participation. Any queries, please put them.
Hi everyone, it's extremely a very pleasant thing to reconnect with you all. It's been a very momentous time that we are all having live from here at OFA. So on the pricing part, we are extremely flexible on the pricing part. We don't charge any subscription model per se. We are so it's the camera. I need to rotate the camera 1 second, right? So the pricing is going to be based on each reply. When the general notice management tools are all priced at say rupees at a very substantial price, you can know, you already know, and you have been using our GST notice management platform, which has been completely free. This AI replies, I can generally tell you, for a demand of say rupees X, the percentage of the price per notice, it's not going to be based on the percentage of demand, number of issues in the notice, and the complexity of the issue. This is going to basically decide the price that we are going to charge for each of the notice. That logic is also built into the AI tool. The AI tool derives the price for each of the notices. And if at all you have any issues on the price, please feel free to call us at this number 8903951122. Any immediate solution. See, because this is not just an AI based reply, we are giving you plus free expert guidance. Expert guidance to say, if you have any issues on the uh, reply, we will be there to support you. Our team is very much ready to support the same. For the personal representation at the department, we will handhold you so that the ultimate objective, the ultimate mission is to make sure that the demand gets stopped. So we have had a very interesting email as well. Could you share how do you deal with hallucinations? What is the pricing structure, right? So there is another software that I use. How is your software different from theirs? It will help me decide whether I have to shift to Zentac Clinic. Yes, great. So this is a very straightforward email, and I would like to answer it directly in this open forum here, right? We are the one and only solution provider providing a dedicated solution for GST litigation. If everyone thinks that income tax and GST are one and the same, income tax, I can reply to TDS, everything is the same act and the same rules. No, GST per se requires that level of detailing, and I can tell you, we as professionals, we as faculties of GST for the ICAI, we as master trainers for the CGST and SGST officials, I handled multiple sessions. We are not selling mere technology. We are actually providing the actual solution for GST litigation. So this is the only reason why you should reach out to Zentax Clinic for GST litigation. No other partner would be the dedicated solution provider for GST litigation, number one. Number two, with respect to GST notice management, we know the practical pain points of a basic user. We are basically the users of Zentax Clinic, and we know what is the basic requirement for an end user. Therefore, our dashboard is very relevant to say it has grouped the various issues, various notices into cases, and it provides you the greatest transparency. Number one. Number two, another question. So, what is the pricing structure? The pricing structure, as I have already answered to you, please check out the pricing in the AI platform, because for each of the notice, depending on the complexity, depending on the issues involved, depending on various factors, the pricing would be there. If you have any issue on the pricing, you can immediately reach out to us, and we will make sure that your issues are definitely addressed. We will support you in that you get the best result out of your GST notice. That is some assurance that we can give from you. So we are connecting here live from OFA. We have our Mr. Piyush Goyal over here. We have most of the dignitaries from the entire ICAI fraternity, the president, vice. So we will be having very soon amongst us the past president of ICAI, CAG Ramaswamy, who did the soft launch of the entire Zentax portal. We will be having the chairman of Indirect Taxes Committee, CA Rajendra Kumar. We have had so many other leading corporates, n number of professionals. At the moment, I can tell you, we have had hundreds and hundreds of professionals visiting us, applauding us for the phenomenal amount of efforts that we have put in. The results have been live showcased to them, and we would love to hear from you on your feedback. So your feedback has been the most motivating factor for us to keep going. Please come back with your feedback, and we will give you more additional value. Over to you, Divya Prabha, please.
Thank you everyone for participating in the webinar. Please use our Zentax portal and our AI portal. And if you have any queries, you can mail us in solutions@zentaxclinic.com. We will provide the solution. Thank you.